All right. So good morning, happy Friday, welcome. It's Judith. It's a 1 hour gentle Kripalu yoga class. If you're new, a big, big welcome, and welcome, of course, to our faithfuls. Yeah. So what we use in this class is a yoga mat. You could substitute, if you don't have a mat, you could substitute it with a folded blanket or maybe a beach towel on a carpeted surface. Uh, Next item we like to have available is a yoga strap. This is easy to substitute. You could get a long skinny scarf, a dog leash, a bathrobe tie, a belt. Really easy to substitute. These are yoga blocks, which are really nice to have as props. I use them as arm extenders, among other things. These are the styrofoam version. I'd recommend them, not the bamboo. And you can substitute if you don't have blocks today with a couple of canned goods of equal size and weight. I have a rolled up towel, which I have fixed with rubber bands. It's my little fake bolster. And then I've got a squishy mat for padding purposes. But you could get a couple of small cushions. I mean small, not bed pillows, but something from the couch or the bed, but small. And then optional are hand weights. I happen to have a couple here. It's a set of 1 pound hand weights, but I recommend nothing heavier than 2 pounds for this class. And that's just to challenge yourself if you found everything has been too easy. So, and last but not least is our friend the chair. This is a standard metal folding chair, no wheels for sure, and preferably no arms. And I always like to say if that whatever is being offered this morning does not work for your body, you can modify. You can do another posture that you enjoy, or you could skip it altogether. So you are in charge, and I'm happy to answer questions at the end of class. So let's just start with the feet about shoulder width apart. Just start shifting the weight side to side. We'll gently warm up the body as you shift the weight and you twist and look over the shoulder. Now the hand can either be a heel of the hand or a soft fist, and you're tapping right under your collarbone. That's the long point in Chinese medicine. You're twisting and turning, giving a squeeze to the spine. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep twisting and turning. Now you pat yourself on the back of the shoulder here. That's the back point of the lung. For 4, 3, 2. Keep twisting and turning on 1. Now you're going to pat the front of the torso. Backhand taps up by the kidneys. They're up a bit higher. Here we go. We'll do 4. Keep looking over the shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then slowly, slowly unwinding. Don't just abruptly stop. That's a good way to get dizzy. Nice and gentle. Hands can be on hip crease or waist here. And you're going to start circling hips. Adjust the width of the legs if that feels, whatever feels good. So think about inhaling forward and squeezing the navel to spine as you circle in the back. And breathing into any tight spots, sticky spots, sore spots, directing your attention to those areas. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then back to center, swirling the hips in the opposite direction. Now, you may notice here maybe differences, but maybe not. Just paying attention to what the body is asking for. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. And then rolling up to shoulders, forward, up, back, and down. Trying to minimize computer slump here, or slumping over your steering wheels or your shopping carts. Nice tall posture. Let's circle the shoulders in the opposite direction now, noticing any changes that might be there or not. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1, nice. And then shaking everything out. Here we go. If you have a block, grab a block. If not, and you've got a chair, so I could put the tall block on the block on the tall setting. And if you don't have a block, you could take your chair and maybe turn it around so you're facing the chair seat. So you have something to place your hand on, but if you don't have it, you may not need any of that. So a couple of options here. So the legs are super wide, toes point out 30 to 45, and the torso is going to stay upright. The knees will track over toes. You're going to inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. So don't think about getting deeper and lunging forward with the torso. See if you can keep the torso upright, and then you do the lunges. Only to your optimum, right? Here we go. For 8, 7, or as many as you can manage. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down on 1, little pumps. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down on 1. Now here, right forearm rests on right thigh. The left hand can rest on mat, tall block, or chair seat. Your left leg is straight. The left heel digs into the mat, the toes point to sky. Meanwhile, you're pumping into the right hip, little pulses into the right hip. Pumping synovial fluid into that area for 8, 7, don't let the head dangle. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gliding through center. Left forearm rests on left thigh. Right hand could be on mat, tall block, or chair seat. The left knee pumps over the toes, and that right leg is straight. Right heel digs into the mat, the toes point to sky. Little pumps here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now back to center, nice and slow. If you're using a block, you might want to put it on the second highest setting or not. It just depends on how long your arms are. And you're going to do big squats here. Inhale, bend, exhale. As you straighten the legs, bow to your mat or your block. Inhale, straighten, bend the knees. Exhale, straighten the legs. Woo. Hello, hamstrings. Bending and straightening, bending and straightening. Let's stay down and do little pumps here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten, nice and easy, and just bow to your block or your mat. And here, let's shake the head yes, shake the head no. Maybe adding in some horse lips, Mr. Ed. Breathing. And here a little ragdoll might take place here or not. Squeezing the abs to protect the low back. Arms could be straight with fingers interlaced. Or maybe grab opposite elbows as you do a little loosey-goosey ragdoll movement here. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center slowly. Nice. And then from here, coming into your wide leg forward fold. With your fingertips, see if you can walk your hands back behind your legs. Do that center of the 2 straight legs. And just give it a stretch here. Little tiny bends with the knees. Little straightens with the legs. Bending and straightening. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come forward again. Maybe go to your block. Heel toe the feet together or step the feet together. You can decide what works. You're still in your forward fold. Once the feet are directly under the hips, you're in Uttanasana, forward fold. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. And now we'll do a series of flat back lifts. Hands start at the ankles, drag up the shins, a series of flat back lifts. Inhale, flat back lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then coming all the way up, hands can rest on thighs. And then slowly stack the bones as you rise up to standing. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Oof. One hand on heart, one hand on belly. And just pausing here in mountain pose. Noticing where the energy has shifted in the body. The heart is beating, blood flowing, hamstrings speaking, chi moving throughout the system. Let's take 3 big breaths here. Inhale, belly expands, rib cage expands, collarbones lift, noticing the pause at the top. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly, squeezing out all the air at the bottom. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, noticing the silence at the top. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly, squeezing out all the air at the bottom. 2 more like that on your own. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. And then just coming back to present room here, shaking out the arms and the hands. Let's take the feet maybe about hip distance apart. You're going to stay facing forward. The right hand is going to slide down the outside of the right leg. The left fist goes into left armpit. The chest stays square to the front of your space or your screen. Back to center. Left hand drops down the outside of the left thigh. Right fist goes into the right armpit. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing. Very gently, side to side, getting at those intercostal muscles, giving them a tug, keeping them hydrated and flexible. You don't want them to get dried out or tight. When soft tissue tends to get dried out, it gets hard and stiff. It's the connective tissue. So you want to keep this hydrated and lubricated. And you're coming back to center. Next time you go down the left side of the leg, the right arm is going to go up to the sky. This is a modified, here we go, triangle pose, Trikonasana, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Arm circles the top. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. That top right arm floats down. It resists the gravity. You're not going to just flop it down. You may wish to, but we're not going to go there right now. Going down the right side of the outer leg. And then that left arm comes up to the sky. Modified Trikonasana, triangle pose, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center slowly. Very nice. And now let's just turn. You're going to keep your pelvis facing forward. You're going to turn and face your right leg. It's just a very minor turn. And you're going to take your hands and you're going to slide them down the inside and the outside of that right leg. Then you're going to come right back up again. You might wish to be near your chair or your wall for support. Inhaling and exhaling as you slide down and back up. Let's just 2 more in this fashion. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time we stay down on the exhale. The opposite arm, the left arm goes up to sky. You might want to wish and look in that direction, turning slightly to look in that direction for 4, 3, 2, 1. Top arm comes down. Now the left hand grabs the right ankle. You're twisting in the opposite direction. Then the right arm comes up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Top arm comes down. Triple slow time. Drawing the hands up the leg just like we did to get there. You're going to come on up. You're going to come back to center and just pause in the center. Maybe roll some shoulders, shake things out. Give it a wiggle. Loosen it up. Now we're going to turn and face that left leg. It's just a very small turn, maybe a 10 or 15 degree turn. The hands go on the inside and outside of the leg as you drop down. And then you're going to come back up. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing any differences on this side, if there are any. Lifting and bowing. One more time. Inhale up. This time we stay over. Noticing the hamstrings on this side for 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand grabs outside of left ankle. Top left arm goes up to sky for 4, 3, 2, 1. Top arm comes down. Now, opposite arm comes up. Right arm goes up. Left hand on your left ankle. Twisting and looking in the opposite direction for 4, 3, 2, 1. Top arm comes down. Going back to your left leg. You're going to draw it all the way up, the way you came. 2 hands on both sides of the leg. Come back to center, roll the shoulders. Let's shake those legs and feet out. Good work, you guys. Nice. Now, let's go ahead and do some work on the feet and the ankles. So, let's go ahead and face the chair back. And I'm going to put the feet in first position right away. So the heels together, the toes point out to the sides. You're going to lift up on your tippy toes. Inhale, lift, the heels come up. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay lifted on 1. Now the knees track over toes. Little baby squats. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down on 1. Little pumps. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up, legs are straight, the heels are still lifted. Find your drishti point, the spot that doesn't move in front of you, or maybe it's on the floor in front of you. Focusing on your drishti point. One arm comes up, maybe. Maybe second arm comes up, maybe not. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come down, slowly, slowly. Heels float down. Shake out the feet and the legs. Oh my word, yes. Legs and feet and ankles now a bit more awake. Let's just do a couple knees here. And now let's just bounce the heels. Bouncing those heels for 8. And think about just letting the body move you. Just keep those heels bouncing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one, nice. And then slowly, slowly bring those heels down. You might notice a tingling, a burning in the calves if you stuck with it. And so now let's flip the chair around. Again, we're going to face the chair seat. We'll work on opening the hips a bit. So returning to the rim of the chair seat, you're going to rest your hands there. Most of the weight will go in your arms. Let's take the weight into the left leg. I won't mirror you for this. You're going to bend right knee. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Donkey kicks for 8, 7, don't let the head dangle. 6, squeeze the abs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rebend. Float that knee out to the right. Circle with the right bent knee for 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot comes down. Micro bend the knees left and right. And while we're still here, put the weight in your left leg. Right leg comes out to the side. You can decide how far you want to take it. Take it to your optimum stretch, not your maximum. And we're just going to shift side to side here, lengthening that outer leg, side to side. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then back to center. The 2 feet go back under the chair seat. You might want to use that chair back to rise up. I'm going to go to the other side. You may not have to shift at all. And so now the weight is going to be in your right leg, and the left bent knee is coming in and then kicking out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We bend that left knee, it floats out to the left. Circles with the bent knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Left foot meets the right. Micro bend the knees. Don't let the head dangle. And you're stretching out the low back. And then taking your hand on the back of the chair, you might want to rise up slowly, roll the shoulders, shake everything out. Really nice. Let's try this one. Let's try a balancing one. If you have blocks and want to use one, grab it. If not, I'll show you. You don't need really any special more instructions. This is just a quicker place to put your foot should you need to put your foot down. So if you're using the block, it's between the feet. It's between the 2 feet. Then you're going to shift the weight to the right. All right. And then keeping the knee going forward, we're going to place those toes on the low block. If you don't have a block, just place it on the floor or the mat. This is called crane. We're going to do half crane. And so you're thinking about lifting that leg and maybe just putting it down. Lifting the leg and putting it down. Let's do 4, 3, 2. Keep the leg up on 1. Now you can add your crane arm, floating with your wings for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that wing to stillness. Maybe you want to add the second wing, but maybe you don't. Maybe you want to put your foot down and do your wings like this, floating with your wings for 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you want to try lifting that leg and flying with your wings. Maybe you don't. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. Arms come down, foot and leg comes down. Let's do the other side. Making sure you're near somewhere that's going to support you should you need. So now you're shifting the weight to your left leg, and the right toes come onto the low block or nothing. The knee goes forward, and just going to be a little lift and put it down. Little lift and put it down for 4, 3, 2. Hold it up on 1. Maybe you want to add your crane wing. Maybe you want to put your foot down while you do your crane wing to begin with. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Wing comes still. And lift that leg up. Maybe you want to move 1 wing. Maybe you want to move 2 wings. Maybe you want to fall over, but hopefully not. Put the foot down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Foot comes down. And if you fall out of it, just go right back into it. The balance changes from day to day. So we just need to keep working on it. So we keep what, cell memory we've got going to make those moves. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to use the chair to get down on the mat if you have anxiety about getting up and down off of the earth. And this is good to know should you fall down anywhere. It's a good formula to have. So you face your chair seat, grabbing the outer rim. You're going to shift the weight to one leg, and the other knee bends as you float to the earth. The second knee joins it, so you're on the earth. To get back up, you grab the side of the chair, maybe grab the center of the chair, whatever works. Maybe you want to assist one leg forward, and then you're going to tuck these back toes. Weight will go in the arms. Inhale, lift the bum, pressing up. One foot goes under the chair seat, second foot goes under the chair seat, and then rising up, triple slow time. So, and that could work so maybe if you fell down somewhere, you could scoot your way over to a sofa, a chair, a very sturdy coffee table, perhaps, just so you know that that's available. And we do, by the way, offer fall prevention classes. I think the next one's coming up in September. So if you're here locally, you might want to think about it. They're lots of fun. So we have bling, we have little balance exercises to test your balance. It's a nice event, and you'll meet fellow citizens. Isn't that nice? So now we're going to face that short end of the mat. We're going to inhale up, exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale up, exhale, swan dive forward. 2 more, lifting and bowing, lifting and staying over. Fingertips can come to the mat or low blocks. You're going to keep the feet flat here. You can let the head hang. It's tractioning the spine like a 15-pound bowling ball. You're going to micro-bend the knees left and right, keeping the feet flat. So you're stretching out that low back area that gets tight from too much sitting, too much inactivity. And we'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Legs come to stillness. Step back into downward facing dog, or go to the mat if down dog is not available. Down dog, the body's in a triangle shape. You're going to start bending the knees. You're going to classical pedal the heels. You're wagging your fluffy dog tail. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Feet come to stillness. The knees can float down to the earth. Big toes together, knees wide apart. Press into child pose. And here is where I take my fake bolster, my rolled towel, and I push back. I place it behind my knees. I push back with the hips so it gets closer to the heels. The rolled towel creates more space so you can get there. The forehead could be on the mat, and the arms could either be in front or beside the legs on the mat. If the forehead doesn't get to the mat, you can stack palms. Option 1, and rest your forehead there. Or stacked fists, rest the forehead there. or if you have a little block, rest the forehead there. And then once you've organized your best version of child, maybe it's just a static press where you allow that body to melt into the mat. And again, noticing where the energy may have shifted in the body. Or you might want to do little micro movements east to west, side to side. That feels yummy. And you're stretching the tops of the feet, the tops of the thighs. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then coming to stillness, only halfway. Come out of your child's pose, only halfway. Top of right foot will nestle into arch of left foot, and then you're going to press back again, smushing that bottom left foot, pumping fresh blood in there. Meanwhile, the hands and the arms go on the left on the floor, and you're pushing your right hip away to the right, 45 degrees on the diagonal. So now you've got a huge stretch on the right side of the body. Maybe it's a static press. Maybe little wiggles here might feel good. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Coming back to center slowly. Coming halfway out of your child's pose. Flipping the feet. Top of left foot nestles into arch of right foot. And then you push back with the hips, smushing your bottom right foot. The hands and the arms go on the floor to the right. The left hip pushes away to the left, 45 degrees on the diagonal. Big stretch on the left side of the body. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And then coming all the way up out of it, unwinding the feet. I'm removing my towel. Here, you might wish to make extra padding for your knees. The squishy mat works great, or you could fold the towel. Make sure there's no lumps or bumps so that nothing is off kilter. And then we're going to come into neutral table. In a neutral table is hips over knees, shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, fingers spread wide. If this bothers your wrists, if it's too much, you can move to fists. That might work better. Or come down onto your forearms, either on the mat, if you have 2 blocks. That lifts the floor up closer to you. The forearms could go on those blocks. So 3 options there, all right? So we'll do a few cat-cows here. Let's tuck the 10 toes, so we're stretching out the bottoms of the feet while we do cat-cow. So it's inhale, drop the belly, spread the sits bones wide. Exhale, arch and squeeze like a Halloween cat. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch and squeeze. So focusing your attention on the spine again and squeezing those abs as you rise up. We'll do 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Back to center. Now, let's rock back and forth. Your toes are still tucked. If you want to sit on your heels, if it's available, go right ahead. Some people have no trouble with that. Other people find it exceedingly difficult. So find a middle way here, rocking back and forth for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. Untucking those toes, pounding the tops of the feet, giving a little massage to your feet. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then just give it a shake. And let's come on up. And I'm going to use my blocks as arm extenders. You may have long enough arms. And I'm not going to mirror you for this. So the right foot goes forward. You can frame that right front foot with the hands on the mat or with blocks. I go for the tall blocks because I have short arms. Now we're going to stack the right knee over the right heel. You don't want that knee to go farther as we push forward. And then that back left leg is going to stretch open as far as it can to the back, opening up the left hip crease. So we're going to bend that front right knee. If you want to lift the chest a bit, you could walk your blocks under your armpits, maybe allowing you to press a little deeper into that front leg for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And now we're going to start bending and straightening the front right leg. As it straightens, drop the torso down the inside of the right thigh. The right heel stays glued to the mat and the right toes point to sky. Pushing forward, inhale forward. Exhale, straighten the leg. Hello, hamstrings. So let's do 4 in this fashion. 3, 2. Last one, keep the legs straight. Now the hands may wish to come to the mat for more stability. The toes point up to sky. Externally rotate those right toes along with the rest of the right leg. Back to center, internally rotate. So the whole leg is turning. External rotation, internal rotation. 4, 3, don't rush it. 2, 1, nice. And then back to center. Let's let the foot go flat. One more time, coming forward. I'm reclaiming my blocks here. And then walking back under the armpits. Maybe you want to stay right here. Maybe you want to put your hands on top of the right thigh. Maybe you don't. And you might wish to stay here. Next level would be taking your left hand, pressing the outside of the left hand into the outside of the right thigh. The right hand rests on the right hip, and you're looking over the shoulder to the wall behind. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwinding, and then one more press forward, and then taking that right foot back to meet the left. Whee! And then now the left foot is going to come forward. The foot is flat. You're going to either frame that foot with your hands or maybe with blocks. So you're going to press into this left hip now. The left knee stacks over the left heel. You don't want the knee to go farther to protect the knee joint, all right? And that right leg is going to stretch back as far as it's willing to go to open the right hip crease. So from here, we're going to inhale, press forward. And I'm going to walk the blocks back, and we'll pause here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe take your blocks forward as you straighten and bend the left front leg. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, exhale, straighten. Oof. Noticing any differences in this leg for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay straight. Hands can come back down to the mat. The torso drops down the inside of the left thigh. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying right here. Left foot externally rotates. Back to neutral. Internally rotates. Outward rotation. Inward rotation. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then the foot goes flat. You might wish to return to your blocks if you were using them and press forward. And then you're going to walk the blocks back if you wish. So you can lift up the chest. And you might want to stay right here. Or you might want to place both hands on top of the left thigh and stay right there. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the back of the right hand presses on the outside of the left thigh. Back of right hand presses into outside of left thigh. Left hand on left hip, looking over the shoulder to the wall behind. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwinding slowly and then coming forward. And then taking that left foot back to meet the right. And now moving the props off to the side. Maybe you want to sit on a folded blanket or towel to lift up the hips or not. That's up to you. And there's no rush to get there. So finding your way to sitting on your mat. Maybe sitting on something folded to tilt the pelvis forward, as though that pelvis is like a bowl spilling water forward. And have props handy like blocks if you want to use them for propping. You'll see. So this is coming into Sukhasana. The ankles line up one in front of the other. If the bent knees are hanging in space, you can prop them with either a rolled towel or blanket or blocks. And that way you're not gripping in your hip creases to hold those knees up. All right. So this is Sukhasana. If the knees don't want to bend like this, the legs could go straight. Take some blocks underneath the knees, the two together, and you have support for your legs. And do the moves from this position, all right? As best you can. So you might want to think about pulling the flesh away from the sits bones. Ankles line up one in front of the other. And you might wish to prop the thighs. Once you get the legs organized, start circling the ribs. Inhale forward, exhale back. Oh. Just reminding those internal organs we're pumping in fresh blood, chi, life force, and excreting all that stuff that's been used and ready to go. 2 more in this direction. Nice. Let's corkscrew back to center and circle in the other direction. Noticing any differences in the change of direction here. Maybe it feels the same. You're just doing a mental inventory. 2 more in this direction. Nice. And then coming back to center. Now, if you've got the legs folded, let's go ahead and have the soles of the feet kiss each other. I'm moving the blocks away temporarily. I'm tucking the elbows into my thighs, the soft part of the inner thigh, and rocking side to side while sitting nice and tall. So several things going on there. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. And then coming back to neutral in the center. I'm returning my blocks under my thighs, so I'm not gripping in the hip crease. And you're going to draw those kissing feet as close to you as you can, optimally, not maximally. And you're going to keep the back flat. So this is a very small move. We're again working on opening the hip creases. Imagine there's a wire in the center of your chest pulling you forward. The back stays flat. You can grab with your hands either the ankles, the feet, the toes, as you come forward. And then when you come to your sticking spot, you're going to stay there, breathing, back is flat, staying calm and relaxed. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. Coming back slowly. Now I'm going to take the blocks away. The feet are still kissing, and now we're going to extend the legs so that the legs come into a diamond shape. And the hands will come to the sides. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Again, leading with the chest. Think about flat back. Try not to let the head dangle. Now you've got your optimum stretch forward here. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying forward folding. You're going to take your left hand around the outside of your right ankle. Left hand around outside of right ankle. Your right arm is going to wrap around the back of the body. It could rest either at the sacrum or opposite hip crease. You're looking over your right shoulder. A forward fold, a seated twist. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwinding the back arm, staying in this forward fold. Back to center. Now the right hand wraps outside the left ankle. The right hand grabs outside the left ankle. The left arm wraps around either the sacrum or opposite hip crease. You're looking over the shoulder to the wall behind you. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Unwinding slowly. Let's rise up. Triple slow time. Don't just pop up. Very nice. And then closing the legs together. Let's shake them out. Oh. And wiggle those ankles too. Circle the ankles. Nice. So we're going to do foot massage. It's going to be your Friday treat. So taking one foot, it doesn't matter which one. You're going to take your hand and you're going to grab your 5 toes. This is nice to do with socks on, but you don't have to. And you're going to fan your toes back and forth like you're fanning yourself. You're wiggling your toes, getting blood flow in the toes. When that feels more or less complete, you're going to take each individual toe from the base of the toe to the end of the nail, and you're going to massage that toe, sending love to your toes. And then you're going to do that for each individual toe. So just in case you didn't know, we can't really walk or perambulate without our toes. That's what gives us the torque to move the foot forward. It's the same idea of the flexibility of the spine. It's the flexibility of the foot, you know. And don't forget your big toe. And then you're going to rummage around the underside of the toes with your fingertips. The technical term, rummaging. So just scrubbing away under there. And then you're going to take a fingernail and just scrub along the top of each toe, the very ending of each toe. So make sure you do that and hit each toe, all the meridians in the body and in the hands and the feet. So we're actually we're massaging our meridians, basically. When that feels complete, you're going to take 2 thumbs. You're going to massage the big toe ball mound and the little toe ball mound right there at the front of the foot. And the thumbs work their way into the center of the ball mound. Then the 2 thumbs are going to work their way down the outer and the inner edges of the foot. The thumbs are also going to massage the arches, the arch on this foot. And then you can use your 10 fingers to scrub along the heel. Bring some stimulation into the heel. And then you're going to take both hands and you're going to wring out a wringing motion, like you're wringing out a wet washcloth. And you're going to do that on your ankle. So the hands are moving in opposite ways and they're creating friction and movement of energy and blood. And then when that feels complete, you're going to take your fingertips and scrub along the top of the foot, maybe between the gaps between the bones in the foot, the top part. There's 26 bones in each foot. And then when that feels good, you're going to take a soft fist and start tapping the arch. And then you're going to take 2 hands and gently pat the foot and the ankle. If you want more stimulation, you can just slap that foot and ankle. And then you're going to unwind that foot and notice how that foot feels compared to the foot you haven't done yet. I think it's a remarkable difference on me. So I can't wait to get my other foot attended to. So now you're going to grab your other foot and you're going to grab your 5 toes and you're going to flap them back and forth like you're fanning yourself on a hot day in, I don't know, Houston, somewhere where it's very warm, Arizona. It's getting there. And then when that feels complete, you're going to take each individual toe from the base of the toe to the end of the nail, and you're going to massage those toes. Oh. And you can spend more time where you can find a sore spot, a painful spot, a spot you didn't even know was there. And just continue to massage and send love to your toes. Don't forget your big toe. And then you're going to take your fingertips and rummage around the underside of the toe area. So that's above the toe ball mound, right under the undersides of the toes. And then when that feels complete, you're going to take 2 thumbs. You're going to massage the big toe ball mound, the little toe ball mound, and go to the center. And then go down the sides. Don't forget the arch. And then scrubbing the heels. And then you're going to take your fingertips and scrub the top of the foot. Oh, we didn't do the tops of the toes. We'll go back for that. Go back to your toes and scrub along the top of each toe. Just the very, very, very end, land's end there at the end of the toes. There we go. And you've scrubbed the top of the foot. Now we'll do that wringing washcloth motion on the ankles. Oh. And then you're going to take a soft fist and tap on the arch. And then you're going to take two hands and gently pat the foot. And if you want more stimulation, you can slap it. And hopefully that is going to be just ready to float. So now your 2 feet should be very, very happy. Let's go ahead and face the narrow end of the mat. And then we're going to bend the knees. Inhale forward, exhale back. Just a few of these. Inhale forward, exhale back. Last time. Inhale forward, rolling it all the way down onto the back body as you draw the knees into the chest. And here you might wish to rock side to side. It feels pretty good to massage the whole back body from the back of the skull all the way down to the coccyx bone, the tailbone, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. Let's drop the feet down to the mat. Feet and legs in parallel. The knees are bent. The left ankle crosses on top of right thigh. Left ankle crosses on top of right thigh. You're going to keep that figure 4 shape with the legs, and you're going to start swaying the legs side to side. The goal here is to keep the shoulder blades on the mat as best you can as you rock the legs side to side. We'll do 4, 3, the top foot is flexed, 2, 1, nice, back to center. Then that right thigh closes on top of the left thigh closes on top of the right, sorry. And then you might want to braid the lower legs, but maybe you don't. And you're going to windshield wiper those thighs that are together, also side to side. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. Unwinding the legs. Feet and legs go back to parallel. Right ankle crosses on top of left thigh. The top right foot stays flexed throughout. Here again, going side to side. See if you can keep the shoulder blades on the mat on this side. Supine twist here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And now that right thigh crosses on top of the left. Maybe you want to braid the lower legs together. Maybe you don't. And we're going to rotate this legs side to side, windshield wiper those 2 thighs that are glued together for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. Unwinding the legs. Draw the knees into the chest, massage the back. Maybe you want to circle on that salad plate, that bony part of the low back. That's the sacrum. And if you're circling on the sacrum, be sure you circle in both directions. And one last thing, and then we'll go to Shavasana. If you have a strap, grab your strap. If you don't, you could grab the backs of your thighs. Avoid the knee joint, all right? So now we're going to take your strap, and we're going to extend the legs out wide, rocking side to side, nice and gentle. This is very self-soothing, very relaxing. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. Coming back to center. And then we're going to have the legs in parallel. You're going to keep the strap around your feet if you're using the strap. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Legs are straight. Lose the strap. Shake legs and arms, hands and feet. Getting everything moving. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then slowly everything comes to stillness. Legs can go straight on the earth. Arms and legs can be resting 30 to 45 degrees, flat on the back. Arriving in Shavasana, resting pose, corpse pose, maybe rolling something under the knees if you have a cranky low back, or covering yourself with a blanket or sweatshirt or socks. If flat on the back isn't available, you can bend the knees. The feet are met with the part, the knees knocked together in the center like a tent, arms in T position. That's restorative rest pose. If flat on the back is not working, you could roll to one side, rest your head on the upper arm. Legs and hips are stacked, and you could have your Shavasana here. Or you could have your legs up the wall if you have an available wall. Or maybe the lower legs on your chair seat with the rest of the body on the mat. That's a great way for Shavasana. Or you could sit in a chair, feet flat, crown of head floating to sky. And then just allowing the eyes to drop closed and gently scanning the body, noticing the effects of the practice. And as you rest there, I'm going to just mention today's lifestyle tip. And that would be that the digestive fire is strongest at midday. So the idea is to eat your larger meal at midday and then a lighter meal at night. So that's a thought in terms of how your food is digested and at what time of the day it's well digested. So now returning to the body, relaxing, noticing the warmth forming in soles of the feet as we place our feet in our friend the hot tub, our imaginary hot tub. And that relaxation moves into the toes, the feet, who should be very happy, hopefully. And then it moves into the ankles and the low legs and the knees. And from there it moves into the thighs. Legs and feet now, very, very heavy. And then it moves into the hips and pelvis. The low back releases, the buttocks release. And from the belly, it moves into the waist and torso, enveloping all the vital organs, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, spleen, all the vital organs deeply relaxed. And from there, it moves into the chest and shoulders and rolls down both arms, all the way to the fingertips, all the way to the fingertips. And from there, it moves into the throat and the neck. And then it envelops the head, all the way to the crown of the head. Back of the neck releases, the face and the jaw let go. The tongue lies at the bottom of the mouth, teeth slightly apart, eyes sink deep into the skull, as though a white circle of healing light permeates every cell in the body. Noticing back body and front body, right side and left side. Noticing the whole body together, the whole body together, the whole body together. And here are a few words from Pema Chodron from her book, Living Beautifully with Uncertainty and Change. Buddhism holds that the true nature of the mind is as vast as the sky, and that thoughts and emotions are like clouds that from our vantage point obscure it. We're taught that if we want to experience the boundlessness of the sky, we'll need to get curious about those clouds. When we look deeply into the clouds, they fall apart, and there's the expanse of the sky. It never went anywhere. It has always been there, momentarily hidden from us by the fleeting, shifting clouds. If you'd like to remain in Shavasana here for as long as feels right, please feel free to stay right there. But if you're ready to meet the day, begin to bring some gentle movement to fingers and toes and arms and legs. And if you're on the earth, drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a well-deserved hug. And then rolling onto your favorite side and pausing there for just a few breaths in embryo posture. And on the next inhale, keeping the eyes closed, press yourself up into a comfortable seated posture, rooting the sits bones down into the earth, drawing the crown of the head up into the sky, scanning the body for the effects of the practice, and thanking the body for all it does all day, every day, and bringing to mind one thing for which you are grateful. And on the next inhale, let's float the palms up overhead, hands meet in prayer, dropping down the midline, stopping at the heart, Samastiti, this beating heart. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you stand in the light of your own true self. I salute the bright light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Jai Bhagwan.